Thank you for tuning into the Gridcenter. I'm your host Shane Falco, along with Big 12 champion Big D. We're here to bring you the SEC playoff recap show. There was a lot of excitement. We have a new champion, and we had some pretty good games. Some hotly contested games, as you would imagine. Let's just jump right into it. First round, we had No Limit and Sick With It.
Okay.
And we also had TMT and the Bad Boys. Yeah. So, starting with No Limit Sick With It, the 3-6 game, I had No Limit winning the whole thing. And in the first round, they didn't disappoint me, as it was a very low-scoring game. Ironically, the player who's played on both teams, Peanut, scored the game's only touchdown on a play that Sick With It ran all the time when they had Peanut. That little dumb screen.
Gets the flag and he's gone.
And Peanut goes to the house. It's kind of ironic that they get beat by the same play that they had so much success with in the past.
Well, it's kind of ironic. They got beat. But I didn't even know that was going to happen. You know, a lot of times at the gym we always talk about people turning up, and they had a good run. I mean, they won their last, 3 or 4 games to get to the playoffs. Was it an upset? I don't know. I mean, they were the 5th seed?
6th seed.
It was a 6th seed. They came in and needed some help. I expected a highly tested game, being that Walker's been in this situation, and he's got the greatest multi-purpose athlete on the team as far as Steve. So they kind of figured that they'd come no nonsense and they would win it, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Definitely without the starting quarterback Gene. I would predict that at all.
Gene was there.
Oh, he did make the first.
He was the first game.
Oh, okay.
And speaking of Steve, he wasn't there till late in the second half, so it took away one of those weapons.
Fucking Joe Green.
Joe Green curse.
Joe Green curse.
And yeah, it was 6-0 game, very low scoring, very defensive minded. What can you say? No Limit, back in the thick of things after a couple seasons of being down. So, hats off to them, knocking off a Sick With It team that had a real strong run, and it looks like it's starting to fade a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to fade.
They're going to have to regroup, maybe have to recruit people. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's definitely going to be an interesting offseason in the Sick With It camp.
Yeah. I think it's the Farm League. The Farm League is fucking their game up.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
So, in the 4-5 matchup, the Bad Boys and TMT, a game that was not going to be short on physical play, was not going to be short on trash talking, and there was definitely a lot of that.
I was at work. I was at work and I heard that game from my job. That's how loud it was. My man DB.
DB's was in playoff form.
Yes, he was.
He was getting it on, and he actually had a chance to make a big play. If I remember, I believe it was a catch that he would have made that would have been or it was a pick. I can't remember which one it was, but it would have been a play that he wouldn't have stopped talking for the next 6 weeks had he made it.
He still will be talking.
He still will be. Yeah. But it was a very, very hotly contested game. I didn't catch all the game as I was back and forth between the two fields. TMT pulls it out. Once again, as we've stated in some of the other conferences shows, the recap shows, one team that definitely knows how to turn it on at this time of the year is TMT. They've done it many times in the past, and today was no different, or Sunday was no different, as they did what they do, and the team that you picked to go all the way. And first round, they did not disappoint, knocking off the Bad Boys. In the second round, we had the #1 seed LNG, who's been off for essentially a month, got to face TMT. Yeah. And this was a game that was a little back and forth. A couple of plays that were questionable calls that had a chance to really impact the game. In the end, TMT's veteran leadership beats out the young and athletic LNG squad, knocking them off in the first round.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that had to do, I believe, with the layoff. It's just an unfortunate set of circumstances for them.
Yeah.
But they definitely have a really good team, and they're definitely going to be, as long as they can keep the team together and play together, I don't think that they're going to have a chance to win championships together. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But TMT just proved to be too much, as TMT usually does, knocking off LNG. In the other half, we had DX versus No Limit. Gene was not there, and I think it played a big part. It still ended up being a very tight game. DX looked like they were going to pull away and run away with it, and then Lamont took a pass and took it all the way to the house. Big play at the end of the game. They were down 2. They went for the 2-pointer. Obviously, they needed it for the tie, and they did not make it. It was a very badly executed play. I don't know what happened, what was going on, but it just, I think it had, if Gene's there, maybe it's a different game. But DX stepped their game up, responded to the challenge, and they moved on. So that brings us to the championship game. And we had DX versus TMT. DX has had TMT's number in the past. TMT got past them. I think the first time they beat them was this season, in the regular season. And this was a game for the ages. I could not think of a better game to wrap up the playoff day, than this game. This was the definition of two teams raising their level of play and going at it on both ends. TMT displayed championship mentality the whole game, and DX matched it. And for the first time, we saw a team, we saw a team change right in front of whoever was there. Saw a change in the team. Their whole approach was different.
Yeah.
They didn't tense up. They just did what DX does, and they matched. They did a rare thing: match TMT's intensity in the playoffs.
They pretty much left everything on the field.
They did.
They left everything on the field, and kudos out to DX. They've been a team that moved up to the A division, and they took their lumps.
They did,
and they finally got one. They're a young team, and I think they can hold the reign. Let's see if they can get 2 in a row. Anything's possible in that division, being that the competition is at an all-time high. But it's good for them. And I spoke to some of the TMT players at the end of the game, and they was like, they deserved it. And in order for Disco to actually win this game, he would almost have to be perfect, and he damn sure was almost perfect.
He was.
Yeah.
A lot of people said that their offense would never work in that level of play, that conference.
No,
and well, every season they've been the highest scoring team, so the offense works. It's just been a matter of defense. But really, it didn't come down to needing defensive stops. It was just a very well played game on both ends. There wasn't a lot of mistakes made by either team. TMT took the lead with 45 seconds to go. They had a touchdown lead. DX took advantage of a misplayed coverage by TMT not going to a prevent. It allowed Witt to get deep, and they threw over the top. Witt goes for 70 to bring him within 1. And like we were just talking about before, the theme of the day with the 2-pointers, DX comes up, down 1 for a chance for the ship, and they go for the 2, and they get it. Big play. They had TMT offsides at the snap, so they had a free play. Disco's able to run it in. And in true TMT fashion, with 33 seconds to go, they had a chance to win the game. In 2 plays, they were down down over by the DX30. Bear had a big sack. Clock's running. Klee gets one last shot, puts the ball in the end zone, hits a guy right in the chest, and he drops it. Of all things, you would never expect a TMT guy to miss a play like that. Not in this kind of game. But like I said, it was a greatly played game. One of the best by far. Probably one of the best games of the entire season.
Yeah, I missed it. I'm just waiting for it to come out on video on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people wait for it to come on video. And so I'm taking all kinds of offers from DX players to see what it's going to take to get the game up early. But
fucking disco.
It was an incredible game by far, and the mutual respect between these two teams was nice to see. TMT, we both spoke to some guys after the game, and they had nothing but respect. They did not make any excuses. They were, happy for DX. In a way, it's good for the league. It makes it, now it's not always DX is that team that'll get there and never win. Now it makes things a lot more competitive. Teams know that there's more than one or two teams to deal with now.
And you know what? Having more teams in the SEC and a 16 player format with the two bodies also had a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's hats off to the TMT, coming and playing 3 games to win a championship is not an easy task at all. It's not. And that one game off could, I'm not saying it did, but it could help a team where, they don't have to play as hard. Who knows if DX was vice versa, could do the same thing. They probably could as well, but, getting that first and second round bye, I'm sorry. Getting that first and second round bye is definitely a plus in that type of situation.
For those of you watching at home, that's Zoe calling.
Yeah, it was Zoe. Damn you, Zoe.
TMT playing 3 games is a great point. Yeah. They had to play 3 games to get there. They did it, and they still had a chance to win the game.
Yes, they did.
That's just what TMT is. I think they displayed the fact that they're best team in Vegas. They're the best team, have been the best team in Vegas for a while, and it was no easy task by any means. So DX definitely earned them a championship, and I'm sure DX is happy that it came from TMT. It wasn't a gift, somebody that upset somebody else, and they got an easy game. They had to play all out, and they had to play the best game they played all season to get it. So, like I said, it was better. What a great way to end it.
Yes, it is.
That's the kind of stuff that we get in the grid. I mean, games like that and teams like that. I mean, you just can't get those kind of battles anywhere else. So, congrats, DX, 2011 SEC champions. And for all the rest of the teams that made the playoffs, hats off, great season.
One of the best in the Gridcenter. I mean, one of the best in the LVGridiron since our existence.
I think by far it was the best SEC season.
Yeah, just all around.
I feel bad for LNG. They kind of got the short end of the stick with all that time off, but some stuff is out of control. But that's definitely a team that is going to be dangerous. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So it'll be interesting to see how some of these teams reload and retool.
Yeah, free agent is running rampant right now.
Yeah. Rumors of free agency are all over the place.
All over. Yeah.
As expected in the SEC. What do you expect? And some teams may be coming back. Some teams may be merging together. All kinds of things happen in the SEC. So always exciting. So to all those teams that are going to participate in the Grid Cup, good luck, and we'll see you during the summer. For all those coming back in the fall, we'll have a good off season, and we'll see you in the fall for Big 12 Conference Champion Big D. I'm Shane Falco. We are your hosts. Thank you for watching the SEC Playoff Recap Show.